On a freezing night, a homeless boy was left to die. But one woman saw what the world ignored. Years later, he returned, not as a beggar, but as a billionaire.
The night was bitterly cold, the kind that crept into bones and whispered of endings. Outside a small bakery, beneath a flickering streetlight, a boy lay curled against the wall. His body was fragile, almost weightless, like life itself had begun to loosen its grip. His ribs pressed against his skin, his lips cracked like dry earth, his breathing shallow, fading. People passed. Shoes clicked. Coats swayed. Eyes looked, but never saw. Until one woman stopped, Mrs. Grace, a widowed school teacher, carrying her own quiet struggles like folded cloth in her heart. She had little, barely enough, but something in the boy's eyes reached out, not loudly, but deeply. She knelt. "What is your name, child?" she asked gently. The boy's lips trembled. Daniel. The name almost disappeared into the cold. Grace removed her shawl and wrapped it around him, her hand steady, her decision already made. "You won't die here," she whispered. And just like that, she lifted him. Her home was small, but that night it became a sanctuary. She fed him warm soup, spoon by spoon, cleaned his wounds like someone restoring something sacred, gave him a place to sleep, not just on her couch, but in her life. Days turned to weeks, weeks turned to years. She gave him what money could not buy: discipline, education, dignity, and a kind of love that rebuilds a person from the inside out. One evening, as the sun melted into gold outside their window, Daniel asked softly, "Why do you care for me?" Grace smiled, her eyes carrying both pain and peace. "Because no child deserves to feel unwanted." Time moved, as it always does, quietly, relentlessly. The fragile boy became a man, sharp-minded, focused, unbreakable. Daniel studied like hunger still followed him, worked like survival depended on it, built something from nothing, with grit in his hands and Grace's voice in his heart. One opportunity became two, two became 10, and before long, the world began to say his name, billionaire. But Daniel never forgot the night he almost disappeared. One afternoon, years later, Grace, now older, her hair silver like soft moonlight, heard a knock at her door. She opened it, and time stood still. There he was, Daniel, dressed in a tailored suit, confidence wrapped around him like a second skin. Behind him, luxury cars lined the street. Cameras flashed, voices whispered, but he didn't speak to the crowd. He stepped forward and knelt. "Mother," he said, his voice steady but full, "I came home." Grace's hands trembled as tears filled her eyes. He placed a set of keys gently into her palm. "This house is too small for the woman who gave me life. You will live in comfort now. Everything I am, everything I have, is because of you." The world would later call him self-made. Daniel always corrected them, with quiet certainty. "I am not self-made. I am love-made."